Hi, Jack. How are you?
I'm fine, Sandra. Glad to be here with you.
Oh, it's so wonderful to have you here. This is just a fun pre-summit treat for everybody, for the thousands of people who have already registered. And I guess it's a real thank you to you too, because when Daniel and I were guided to do this incredible thing that we had never done before, when we rang you and you just said yes straight away, and it was like, oh, okay, well, maybe we are on the right track. Maybe this is what we need at the moment. And one of the reasons we did this was because we felt it was a time where leaders need to come together and collaborate with each other and to really help humanity from a space of deep, deep love and wisdom. And I must say, your interview, when it was over, Daniel and I just went, wow. And I mean, we know you really well, and we still went, wow. So again, thank you for saying yes and really, really being there on that level.
You're welcome. That was my pleasure. I think that what you're doing is very, very important because we're at a time in history where people need to come together. We need to transcend a lot of our limiting beliefs and our stories we've told ourselves and our fears and our positions, and really move to a higher level of consciousness and bring more love, more peace, more joy, more harmony into the world. And all the people that you've asked to be on that summit are people who are living from that space and bringing that into their work. And so I was honored to be included.
Thank you, darling. Daniel and I have known you for 7 years. It was really interesting because we met you at a weekend in your home, a weekend masterclass, which, by the way, if any of you get the opportunity to do that masterclass, please do it. But I remember sitting next to you and you were asking us about our life, and you put your pen and paper down and you looked at us and you said, I know you and I want to work with you. And I looked at you and I thought, how can I was like, hang on a minute, because a lot of people have a recognition. But you, at the stage of your life that you're at, you have got so much wisdom and knowing, and I'm going to say spiritual wisdom here, not just business wisdom, spiritual wisdom, where you can intuit who and what people are, and who and what people that you want in your life. And you actually changed the course of our life, by the way, because you invited us into the Transformational Leadership Council and ATL. You actually had us come and work with you and your brilliant business partner, your staff, your students. And it was like all of a sudden we understood that we were being understood. And I think a lot of people don't feel like they're understood. I want people to really get to know you in this, because I've been observing you for 7 years, having spent that time with you. And for everybody who's here with Jack, I just want you to know something about this man. First of all, he has a level of joy that is very rare. And it's exuding, like, look at your face. It's still there, right? And I know that you say that about Daniel too. He's got that smile, right? That level of joy. But you have a level of joy that doesn't get knocked around too badly. You have an innate wisdom that you use, and this incredible, along with the wisdom and the business creativity, which is phenomenal and never ending, you have this love of the people in your sphere of influence. You have this love for every single student that works with you. It's not just, oh, they're just a student. This is a very important person to you. And not many teachers, Jack, I mean, you know this, not many teachers actually feel that connected to the people that they're working with.
Well, it's true. I actually received 3 emails in the last 2 days saying similar things from students I'd worked with over the past couple of weeks in different seminars and things. So here's the deal. I was talking to 𝐭𝐤𝐤, who I think you know, and from the Sedona method, and he was interviewing me for a podcast. And I remembered this story that I totally forgot, that I met this rabbi years and years and years ago at some event. And I think his name was Shlomo Carlebach. He was very, very new age rabbi, if you will. And when he was introduced, he looked out, put his hand out, he said, "Hi, me." And he meant, And he meant, hi, you're me, I'm you, and we're meeting each other, we're meeting ourselves, it's like, and I'll never forget that, because that's how I see everybody, is they're just me. And, when I forget that, sometimes I will get a little judgmental of somebody, like, maybe President Donald Trump at times. And then I realize, well, I've done those things. I want to be loved by everybody. I want to be adored. I'm not addicted to it, but it's in there. And, so it's like, I have come to see that everything is just what it's supposed to be. Everything's perfect and it's unfolding as it should. And there's a lot of times it doesn't look like that. There's a lot of times it looks like we're stuck, and all that. But it's unfolding as it should, because look what we're doing here. We're doing this, this Facebook Live. You're doing this summit. I've been doing probably, one of those every couple of weeks since the pandemic started. I live in a wonderful house. My son's here with my grandson, which I haven't seen for a year. We're all playing ping. It turns out my daughter-in-law, who's from Japan, I said, we got a ping pong table. Ing and I have fallen in love with ping pong. She says, I was in a ping pong club when I was in high school. And she holds a racket totally different and totally slams the thing. And we're having so much fun. And I just trust that the universe is fine. We can learn to cooperate with it or resist it. And when we cooperate with it, life unfolds as it should. And one of the things you taught me and brought into my life was that we all have limiting beliefs, some from this lifetime, some from previous lifetimes, that are blocking our energy flow, our joy, my love, whatever you want to call it. And that those can be removed. Those can be released and dissolved and transmuted and transformed and turned into the light and so forth. So I've been doing that for a long time. And you were part of that journey for me. And I am in a state of just pretty much perpetual happiness lately. And I want everyone to have that. Suffering is optional. But it's only optional if you know some stuff that most people have never been taught. I taught high school history. And there was no one in my high school teaching people how to live their lives, how to deal with their emotions, how to handle relationships, how to manage their feelings. And so now as adults, we're doing that with people and tapping them into the essence of who they really are. And we are pure awareness and love and light. And when we all get that and quit thinking we need it from the outside and then just become the radiant being that we are, life gets, I don't have to tell you, magical.
Exactly. Jack, I also happen to know, and I hope I'm not giving away too much of a secret, but you had a challenging childhood.
I did.
And a lot of people who are listening to you going, oh my God, how can I possibly get there? I've had this happen to me. I've had abuse. I've had, and they're holding on to all of the pain that they went through as a child and a teenager, and sometimes even an adult. And I think with this summit, it's like, it's really saying to people, look, we know if you're in a human body, you know pain. It's just as easy as that, right? And
but that totally calls the pain body,
Right, exactly. And so we're here, but we're also able to transcend this 3D reality, and we're able to go into a 5D reality and beyond, where we can think the way you just think. By the way, living a 5D reality, if anybody's ever wondering what that looks like, it looks like what Jack just said and is. How he's showing up, that's 5D reality, right? And so, yeah. So in case you didn't know, Jack, that's what you're doing.
Let me talk about my childhood for a minute, because I wasn't always like this. I grew up in a family where my mom was an alcoholic. My dad was an alcoholic. My dad, when he drank, was violent. I used to hide. We used to have this big radio. You ever see movies where they have radios that are this tall off the ground, and it's just a little thing of radio up here, and most of it's just empty. And when he would drink, I would hide in there, because if I didn't and he'd find me, he would beat me sometimes, But I look back on that now and I say that was perfect, because what did it do? It provided me with so much empathy and compassion for people who've had those similar experiences. It's allowed me to be a great facilitator for them releasing those memories and being able to forgive and move on and release, and also see there was a perfection in it for them too. I developed perseverance. I developed courage. I developed really good perceptual vision, because I had noticed everything going on. Made me a good basketball player, because I could like look at you and pass the ball over there, because I could see that out of the corner of my eye. That was a survival technique in my family. So there's always benefits that come with every cost. And then when we can let go of the cost, which we do through the work that you and I do, then you're just left with the benefits. And, we're all here to serve each other. And when we the thing I'm most in touch with right now is we're here to be ourselves. And we can say capital S self, which is the essence of who we are, love and compassion and light and all that. But we're also here with a personality or a set of desires or talents and skills. Some people love to bake stuff, and I like to eat baked goods. Not that they're always good for me, but I like to eat them. And I like to watch movies that people love to make, and I like to wear things that people love to make and design. And my sister's an interior designer, and she's made my house amazing, along with my wife and I. We kind of cooperate. Without her doing that, every one of us is like a cell in a body. And if we all do what we're here to do, the body works perfectly. And when we don't do it, when we get out of sync with our purpose, then we get cancer cells. And we have cancer cells running around on Earth right now. Some of them are called terrorists, et cetera. Yeah. We can bring them back into the light, but that's the work.
Yeah, you said something very important about you like to wear these beautiful things and say, I've always known that spirit loves beauty. And if we can all remember this, that our soul is craving our true self. Our soul is craving the beauty, the wonder, the divinity of who we are. And you're tapping into it and spreading that. And Jack, again, the aura around you is like, okay, hang on a minute. I love that I have this gift that I can see in case everybody doesn't realize this, you think you're solid mass, but you're not. You're pure energy. And that energy is actually, I was going to say, what is it when it's doing this? It's expanding out from our body. It can't be kept in the body.
Radiating out, yeah.
Yeah, and as it's doing that, it often has a color to it depending on what frequency you're at. And because you're at that 5G frequency, there's this white, purple, mauve kind of thing going on. That's probably why you love purple so much too, by the way. It really is the color of spirit and love. Jack, I promised you that I wouldn't take a lot of your time today. And I want to thank you so much for being you, like the openness, the sharing, who you are. You are by far one of the most inspirational people on this planet.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm not talking about the fact that you've created a legacy with the Chicken Soup for the Soul. And I'm not talking about the fact that you've created another legacy with the success principles and your amazing Breakthrough to Success program and your Train the Trainer program, which, by the way, anyone listening, Jack, I think you're launching them again this year, aren't you? They're coming up soon.
We are.
Yeah. And so I'm not just talking about what you've created and what you give to the world. I'm actually talking about you, the human being who has really made a karmic soul agreement to be here and let us all know what it's really all about. So thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you. And thank you for inviting me to be part of the summit. And I tell everyone, go do this. You can't, it would take so much money to fly around the world and work with all these people. And now they're all in one place over a period of days. I mean, this is phenomenal. So thank you for what you're doing as well. We're all in this together. I love playing with you. It's totally fun.
Yeah, it is fun. Love you, darling. And thank you so much. See you soon.
Okay. Love you too. Bye.
Bye.